Matty, first session back, is it like first day back at school?
Yeah, I think we're all excited. It's been, for myself, it's been difficult because football's my identity and what I do, and it's the same for probably all the management team. It's different for the players because they need a physical rest, whereas for us as staff, we just want to get back to it. And I'm sure the players are the same now, that they've rested, and it is horrible having the break. You don't want the break, but listen, you refresh, and hopefully everybody comes back with that renewed enthusiasm, and we try and replicate what we did last season.
So it's nearly 2 months since we finished the season up at Southend. A great season, finishing 13th in the table. Just to manage expectations, how difficult do you think it would be with the league getting tougher again every year to replicate that and then even better it?
Yeah, listen, it's going to be the hardest it's ever been. There's no doubt about it. I think we're now the only genuine part-time team in the league. You look at teams like Altrincham and Gateshead that probably we see as rivals. They're just, I mean, I think Altrincham made the 7th signing yesterday, so the players they're bringing in and the money that probably, it looks like every team bar, probably us and Aldershot, are throwing at it, makes the league harder than it's ever been. And you look at teams like Fylde and Kidderminster and teams like that, it's going to be hard, and it will be our hardest season to date. And as a club, it's hard for us because although we've not gone backwards in terms of the gap from us to the next team, it's probably got bigger. So we're in the best position we've probably ever been as a club, but the gap's getting bigger and bigger every season. So as a management team, it comes with more challenges that we've all got to overcome, and it is difficult because the reality is it's very hard to do it on a part-time basis, which is why every other team goes full-time and then throws money at it, and we've got to do what other people can't do. But it's a challenge for all of us. We've shown we can do it. We've shown in a sustained period now that we can stay in the league. So if we can stay in the league for what will be our 5th season next season, then it's an unbelievable achievement, because a lot of teams have failed to do that on a hell of a lot more money on a full-time basis. So the gap's going to be as big as it's ever been, but it's a challenge for us, and we embrace it.
And then we kept 16 of last season on. Is that probably part of the reason why we haven't really delved into the market yet? Because we have got quite a big squad now for pre-season. And, you know, we've only really lost Habergam, haven't we, to Woking? That must be after the season we've had some effort to only lose one player of the squad.
Yeah, it is. The truth is, the reason why we haven't delved into the market is because we can't get deals done at this stage. Like, we have been in the market. The good thing with retaining the players, and it's vital that we did, was we're in no rush and there's no panic, because we've got 16 players that we know can do a job for us in this league. So there's no panic, but the reason why we don't enter the market is because we get blown out of the water. And what we found again is that all we're doing is getting players an extra couple of £100 elsewhere, because the minute we enter into negotiations, they go back to the other clubs that are interested, and I think it's a huge compliment, because I think because our recruitment's been very good, the minute we're interested in a team, I think other teams think, listen, we'll give them more than Wealdstone are interested, and they've done really well with their recruitment. So it's a huge compliment, but it's very hard to get deals done at the moment. So we just got to be patient, and it's not the first time we've been in this position, so we know what to expect. As a club, as a management team, as fans, we know that our deals and our kind of happenings will be later in the window. So yeah, no panic for us. We've got a really strong group together that we believe in, and we'll just look to add if and when we can. And
what about the league? As you say, you sort of just touched on it there, but see, we lost Wrexham, we lost Notts County, 2 big spending sides, but then you've got Chesterfield, who are attracting players from League One. You know, got Will Grigg, who's playing in the European Championships like about 5 years ago. Like, it's still massive quality at the top, isn't there?
Yeah, I think the quality in terms of at the top has probably decreased in terms of Wrexham and Notts leaving the division, but the quality at the bottom has definitely got better. This league is now harder than ever at the bottom of the league, which is really, in truth, is where we're going to be competing, and we'll be favourites to finish bottom again like we are every season. So in terms of the top end quality, I think it's probably a little bit easier, and I think there'll be a lot of teams that fancy themselves to win the league this season, because you'll have teams like Chesterfield, but beyond them, I think there'll be a batch of probably 7 teams that really do fancy that they can get in and around it. But the actual quality and depth in the league is I mean, the landscape of the league has changed. So even the transfer market has changed so much in the last 2 seasons. Now, you used to be competing with 6 or 7 part-time teams. You're not now. You're competing with 23 pretty much full-time teams. So the landscape and the market has changed drastically in the last 2 seasons, and that's why it's a huge achievement for us to be doing what we're doing in this period. It's not like we're doing it 10 years ago, where the league was probably 30% part-time. We're doing it where the league is now full-time. So for us to be doing that and potentially looking at our 4th season this season and trying to get a 5th, it's incredible for the football club.
And what about how we're shaping up compared to last year? Obviously, looking around, it looks like a few less trialists than last year. I think we only probably had 8 or 9 of the squad
Yeah.
signed up probably at this point. Are you anticipating a better pre-season or one you can better organise as a management team?
Yeah, that's it. Results aren't hugely important, although we want to win every game we go into. But yeah, what you've just said there, the actual structure of it and working with players and the patterns of play, and everyone knows last pre-season we didn't win as many games as we'd like to because we just didn't have the squad together. Now there's certain areas we're probably a little bit short on at the moment, but in terms of the structure and the work that we can get into people, like last season we were getting work into trialists that weren't with us, so it's a lot of wasted work. But this season to have 16 players that know what we want to do, and then obviously we'll retain the information that we give them now, is vital for us. So
is that easier for any new lads to pick up when so many of the lads already know what you want?
Yeah, it must be. If you're working with players that know it already, then for me it must be. I can't answer that definitively, but sort of common sense would say that it is. When you're around players that know all the patterns and they're doing it second nature, then it must bring them up to speed even quicker. So yeah, it's another advantage of keeping the squad together.
And then lastly, obviously, how is pre-season different from when you was a player? Did you used to relish coming back to days like today?
No, I'll be honest, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Whereas yesterday I couldn't wait. Whereas, listen, the lads look after themselves way better than when I was probably playing 10 years ago. So yeah, people probably wouldn't believe our pre-season because we don't slog the lads. We do a hell of a lot with the balls and recovery runs and from your shape and all of that. So I think a lot of people wouldn't believe how we get the lads fit. But for me as a player, that's what I wanted. I wanted to get fit with the ball, and I think the lads actually enjoy that and don't dread it because they know they're not going to be running around the field. So we try and do it with rationale and a reason behind everything we do, and we want to do everything with the football. So yeah, hopefully the lads enjoy it, and we'll soon see out here.
There's a lot of trust there, isn't there, that they do their work outside of here?
Yeah, we've got a good group. It's something that we look at when we recruit. We look at the personnel, how they are. We do a lot of kind of checks on how they live their lives and that. So we've got a really honest group that we already know have been doing bits over pre-season themselves. So obviously our management team send out programs and stuff, but we know that lads have been doing stuff off their own back. So it's perfect for us. It helps us, and it means we probably haven't got to work them as hard, and we can ease into it and try and limit injuries and things like that. So yeah, it works.
Perfect. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.